Hello, welcome to Garden Chronicles. My name is James David. This is actually the part 2 from my earlier video where I spoke about the Adenium video concerning the Caudex root rot. Basically, on the preview here is that in this earlier video I've actually explained to you on the context of what is actually rotting and how to handle them. So this is a part 2 where I'm going to show to you on the daily progress of what is actually happening to the drying of this Caudex. One of the things that I've also noticed here, because it's very much experimental, I found that the Caudex, the ones that actually is rotting, the rot is actually taking place in a progressive level. Hence, handling them on a progressively is actually more effectively than taking care of it as in one day's effect. So in a way, I've noticed that the rot is actually taking place in a daily factor. So in this context, handling them and cleaning up and clearing up on a daily factor is more effective than doing it as one application. So in the earlier video, what I've done here is that because it's a progressive work and day 1 and day 2 has been taken care of, and finally I managed to put in another element here, that is actually the talcum powder, which actually aids the speeding up of the drying process and stopping the Caudex rot. I have noticed that once I've used the talcum powder, the rot has fully cured and there is not much of damage. Hence, from here I can assess it and make sure that the plant survives. So this is basically the progress on what is being done for the particular root ball. So this is basically day 3. Based on my observation, I find the rotten parts where there's been cleaned up, there is some kind of wetness, a kind of a moisture actually creating a build-up there. And I find that just leaving it out as keeping it dry doesn't seem to work. Hence, putting this talcum powder seems to absorb the extra moisture and keeping them much more drier and curing the part where the rot is actually taking place. Now, I must make mention about my weather here. It has been raining every day, and there are only days that is like 3 days once or 5 days once where there is a sun, and even that full sun is only for a few hours. So I do take the opportunity to put them in sun just to make them much more drier, but it's not really helpful because of the weather condition, which is quite humid and wet. However, I do find that this particular method seems to work best, and I find it is much more successful rather than leaving them alone. Do follow up with me in part 3 on this progress of this particular Caudex where it has been cured, and please, if you can, do click subscribe and like my channel, and if you can, put in your comments and your thoughts about this particular Adenium, this desert rose, and what are your thoughts on saving them. Catch you again on my next video. Take care. Bye.